all-cause mortality by week in blue as a function of time, and we see that it just continues throughout the COVID period. It's very, very similar to what's been happening before. Now the zero on the y-axis is visible on the graph. And what we did is we added in red what it might look like if the story told by the government scientists were true, that there would have been approximately 1 million extra deaths during the COVID period. So if we distribute those 1 million deaths uniformly in the weeks of the COVID period, that's what the result would look like. So they're saying this is, you have to wrap your head around this. The government scientists, including Theresa Tam, the chief health officer of Canada, are saying that if they had not applied all these measures, there would have been 1 million extra deaths approximately. And therefore they're saying that the all-cause mortality would have been up in the red there, okay? And because of all their measures, it brought it down to what it was. Well, what it was is what we see in blue there. That's the real data. So this is the shocking thing. How can all these complicated measures applied at different times and different types of measures have produced an effect such that you bring the all-cause mortality down to basically precisely what it would have been if there had been no pathogen and no measures whatsoever? In other words, there's a continuity there. Now, that is an incredible coincidence, because you would think that if measures are allowing you to reduce those deaths, then why would they produce exactly the same result and not something in between? The probability that you come down to the same level within 3% of the total is ridiculously small if you're thinking of the complex process of all these measures to bring those deaths down. Okay, so their proposal that there could have been 1 million deaths or a lot more deaths if we hadn't done all these wonderful things is completely ridiculous. I mean, they should be laughed at. People should appreciate that these government scientists, with their bogus models using the bogus statistics of COVID-19 deaths, are just talking complete nonsense. This has to be appreciated. This shows you the degree to which the narrative is fabricated. We've saved you from this horrible situation. Well, let's look at what you've actually done here. You're saying we would have had all these deaths, and in fact, we have something that's virtually not different from what is predicted historically. If you look at what actually occurred in terms of deaths, there's a big peak right after the pandemic was announced. Some peak, overall 3% more, but it hasn't, nothing really has happened. And this is not surprising historically, because the Second World War didn't cause such a big effect. The Great Depression and its fallout in Canada didn't cause such a big effect. Nothing like this is seen. They're relatively small anomalies, these huge societal and socioeconomic events. And here we have the government claiming that this virulent pathogen would have just decimated us in this way, basically doubling all-cause mortality of all causes if we had not urgently acted in this way. You have to really appreciate how crazy they're being, how they're just telling us something that is completely unbelievable on its face, and the media are just swallowing it and reporting it, and people don't know to question it and are being frightened and told repeatedly that this is reality, and it could not be further from a reality that is realistic. Let me put it that way.
What